Hello, hello, and welcome to my thought while standing in the queue. Today I'm going to talk to you about baggy pants. Baggy pants, they're back. Yeah. Spikeville, Tennessee has joined the ranks of legislatures in towns in Mississippi, New Jersey, Texas, and Georgia to outlaw low-slung trousers. Civil rights groups insist that such laws stifle self-expression and they're the result of racial profiling. However, even in the towns where wearing these loose-fitting, sagging pants is legal, they're definitely frowned upon. As Barack Obama said, brothers should pull up their pants. You're walking by your mother, your grandmother, and your underwear is showing. I couldn't agree more. I'm not interested in anyone's underwear these days. An exposed bum is not visual candy to me. I'm told that these young men think they look really sexy when they drop their trousers to half-mast. Well, all I can say is that I, for one, am not turned on by some young man's slouching down the street with his underwear showing and his trousers barely hanging on his hips. It repels me, but of course at my age it takes a thunderbolt to light my fire. On the other hand, should I see an old man wearing his pants at half-mast, my reaction is pity. Obviously, he's a widower with no one to do his laundry, and he has prostate trouble, because they all do. There's no one at home to tell him that those trousers don't fit him anymore, and if he lets them sag any further, he's going to trip on the cuffs. I'm willing to bet the poor old thing forgot to shower, too. Welcome to my dating pool. But I digress. When I see one of these young men with their garments falling off their bodies, I'm reminded of the bygone days when I was guilty of wearing very baggy clothes myself. I was back in the late 40s when I was a teenager. And the truth is that when I wore these very loose garments, I too thought I looked pretty sexy. When I was in high school, I wore oversized matching cashmere sweaters with a string of pearls around my neck and my sorority pin strategically pinned to my chest. I wore very long tweed pegged skirts with a split up to the knees so I could walk, heavy white wool socks that we called wigwams, which was actually the brand that manufactured them, and penny loafers. But as soon as I came home, I transformed myself into a fashionable Bobby Soxer. In my loose blue jeans rolled up to my knee. I kept my wigwam socks on, but I changed into dirty saddle Oxfords. I didn't want my shoes to look too white. That wasn't I topped this outfit with one of my father's immense white shirts, and I was very little and very skinny, so his shirts were like tents on me, and a huge oversized sweater that I called a sloppy Joe. Sometimes, if I wanted to be particularly adorable, I would sew bright polka dot patches on the blue jean knees. That was the look, and I looked it. The saggy pants that we're seeing now are nothing like my baggy jeans, of course. That trend actually originated in prison, believe it or not, because men were given trousers that were too large for them and no belts to hold them up. So wearing them, when they wore them at half-mast, it was often considered a signal of sexual availability. These days, the young men who drape themselves in loose sagging pants are hipsters or rappers. In my day, the loose clothes we wore labeled us as Bobby Soxers, and that was a very different connotation. The 1947 movie that triggered the look was The Bachelor and the Bobby Soxer, starring Cary Grant and Shirley Temple. It was called The American Look and was thought to reflect the exuberance and excitement of a youth. Believe me, sexuality had nothing to do with the baggy clothes we wore, although in their way they were very sexy. I had one boyfriend who told me there's nothing hotter than a girl in an oversized shirt, because all you can do is imagine what's under there, but you can never be sure. The women in my day were teasers. We knew that if we gave too much away, we wouldn't get the big prize. Men actually owned their women in those days, and every young girl knew that she had to be clever if she wanted to trap a man to take care of her. That meant security. And that is why no one had to tell me to pull up my pants. I kept them tightly locked around my 24-inch waist until I got a ring on my finger and a date for the wedding. I was a very good girl. Of course, the boys would have dropped their trousers at a moment's notice if they were encouraged. We had a very strong double standard in those days, and men were encouraged, even invited by those girls from the other side of the tracks. For shame. For shame on them. When you think of it, though, times haven't changed that much. I wore loose shirts and baggy pants to keep the guys guessing. The boys these days flaunt their bums with a what you see is what you get attitude. It's a matter of advertising technique, isn't it? In my day, you took a chance and risked a shocking surprise. Nowadays, you grab what's on display and you risk an STD. And thank you so much for joining me for my thoughts while standing in the queue. And remember, I have a book that I've just published. It's called Getting the Last Laugh, with a cute picture of me holding an adorable dog on the cover. You can get it on Amazon, Getting the Last Laugh, and it tells you how I got into this crazy business. And thank you again for joining me.